You're listening to Rumour Jordan on I Heard a Rumour. My special guest today is Silvana Buxton, who is a counsellor for foreigners in the Padron municipality. Welcome, Silvana. How are you?
Thank you, Ruma. I'm very well, thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have you in here because Silvana asks for questions before she comes into the studio, so then she has time to either ask the person who might be in charge of the department of where your question is coming from, so that she's able to give you an answer straight away on the radio. So, first of all, how are you feeling? How's your summer been?
Well, very, very good, very hot, very busy.
Yes.
So we keep working, we keep trying to, satisfy all the requests that come in and try and give answer to all the questions. And we go on like this, yeah. Good.
Now, we have the questions here. And so shall we start with the first one? It says, schools and children. Do we know what's happening with class sizes, protection, etc.? Are the guidelines coming from the town hall, or are schools sorting it out themselves? Now, before you answer that question, I read something and I just want to clarify that schools are starting on the 14th of September here. Is that right or not?
I can't tell you. There are some, I think they're staggering the school start, a bit like in the UK, I think. So we don't know. Because in fact, really as an answer to this question as well, I'd have to say that the town hall is not actually responsible for education. That is decided by the regional education department. The town hall is only responsible for cleaning and maintenance of the buildings. So, anything relating to opening, safety measures, and safety of the children and the teachers, obviously, it's all directives that come from the region. But in answer to the question, I would say that the education department, although the directives come from them, obviously we are working very close with them, and we are very aware of what they're doing, because obviously our counsellor for education has to answer to our colleges and schools. And I really must say that the education department has been working very closely with the health and safety department, and because the situation is ever changing, and obviously they're trying to keep a step ahead, and they're trying to keep the children and the teachers safe in whatever they do. We've been asked for additional support for the education centres. As I have been reading on the regional government website, and it looks as if they are looking at recruiting 800 teachers for primary and secondary school. There is a budget of, I read, 10 million euros for the improvement of facilities, and in order to meet the additional costs of medical and hygiene equipment. More than 2 million euros seem to be allocated to the improvement of cleaning facilities. About 18 million euros will be invested for the provision of additional digital equipment, so, the PCs
computers,
and things. So that kids can, should it be needed, that, on the other hand, also the Health and Safety Department are going to make available to the centres a manual with instructions on the protocol to be followed in the event of a COVID-19 outbreak at any particular centre. So they're really trying to cover all options to be prepared for any eventuality. But really, if people want to know more, there is a full description of safety measures in the regional government website, which is www.carm.es.
And is that in English? No, it's
we
in
are in the
Spanish.
Spain room.
Yeah, but it's the
But
people who are here, listening to the radio. Most of them are British.
Of course, but they do have the translation facility.
Right, okay.
On a PC, you always have your translation facility.
Okay.
So, and that's how most people
Sure.
look at it. It really is worth making the effort, looking on the website. A lot of the words are similar.
Sure.
And you can sort of get by, try, test.
Yeah.
Translate, use your translator.
Yeah, use your Google Translate or whatever.
Yes.
Okay. Now,
yes.
things like class sizes and protection and that, which is the sort of the question that was asked.
Yeah.
Is that down to each individual school or no? Okay.
No, there are all the directives that come from the regional government. Obviously there may be not complete satisfaction, but the dialogue has to be with the regional government, and
Sure.
through our councillors, she is very, very close to the appropriate people.
Right. Okay.
So I feel confident.
Good.
Yes.
So I presume that parents will hear about all this through their schools before their children go back?
Or they may have had all the details
they
already
might.
on the
Okay,
website.
okay,
Yes, I mean the description. The region issues bulletins, very regular, sometimes too regular, and they're called the BORM, BORM. People will see this word everywhere.
Okay.
And that is, in fact, it stands for Boletín Oficial Región de Murcia.
So official bulletin, basically.
Of the region.
Of the region, yes.
And whenever they, and they come out for any circumstances very, very frequently.
Sure.
And if you just look on the CARM website, everything is there.
Okay. So that's C-A...
So C-A-R-M.
R-M.
And that stands for Comunidad Autónoma Región de Murcia.
Okay.
Which is Regional Autonomous
Region of Murcia.
Yes.
Okay, and that's CARM.ES. So please, if you have any concerns, go and look up this website. Okay, the second question I've had is, on Camposol during the night, residents keep hearing loud bangs. Do we have any idea where it's coming from? Is it allowed at such late times? Is it a factory farm hunting? Has anyone actually contacted the council with regards to this complaint, as it has been highlighted in a number of Facebook groups?
This complaint has actually come to me as well in my corporate email.
Oh, okay.
I made a few inquiries, but ultimately the council is not responsible for issues relating to excessive noise.
Okay.
Various sources of this noise have been mentioned. Could be the possibility of solar panels, metal contracting and expanding.
Oh, wow.
It could be farmers shooting rabbits at night. But whichever the source, if these loud bangs are causing a disturbance, please get in touch with the local police.
Okay.
Or phone 112.
Okay. Now, certain things, though, are allowed, because someone has asked here, is it allowed at such a late time? So are they allowed to to hunt late at night or early in the morning?
I cannot tell you, but the police will be able to advise.
Okay.
There is a noise maximum level at a specific time in the evening. It could be midnight, it could be 10 o'clock.
Okay.
It really, the police are your best
Sure.
point of contact, because obviously they're the ones that are going to fine you if if you don't do as they say.
Exactly. Now, it's not a question that's here, but it's to do with noise. A few people have said about holiday makers when they're, because Camposol is a residential area.
It is.
However, people do come on holiday,
Yes.
and when they're on holiday, they act act as though they're on holiday,
Yes.
which, you can't blame them. However, sometimes there's too much loud merriment going on.
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
what are the rules around that?
Again, there is, and it's the same for bars when they have the music playing for the pleasure of their client. But there is a regulation on noise level and a time when things must stop.
Okay.
And it may vary. The local police will give you, if you ring at 11 o'clock and you say there is an enormous amount of noise next door, they will say, okay, time was 10 o'clock, we'll come, or they may say it's allowed till midnight.
Okay.
But having said so, there is a pitch which people can now go, over. So the bars, the music has to abide by that.
And so there isn't a blanket time either, because I thought it was midnight.
It may be midnight, but I heard 10 o'clock as well, which I think is a bit early.
Yeah, that seems early.
So I haven't made inquiries.
Okay. But people can do it. Is this through this one or the town halls? Because there's a town hall website in English, isn't there, that people can access?
Yes. Well, people can access to read.
Yes.
So, yes, they can...
this might be on there.
Yes,
Okay.
it may be. But if not, they can contact the police through their messenger or Facebook. I understand that they reply very promptly in English.
Yes. There's a Facebook page called the N322.
I heard about, I believe that may be the Guardia Civil, but it's either, yes.
It's good because it does have a lot of information and you can ask some questions.
Yes.
So people out there, if you have got questions, it's Facebook page N322 and that's for the police. Okay, next question. It said central government gave Matheron Council a value of money to be distributed to self-employed business owners. The crisis started in March. These funds were advertised, announced as help in March going into April. We are now entering September, and why has this money not been distributed to help this group of working people? Why is it taking so long?
Right. Well, I must say that claims and payments of any kind must follow the appropriate procedure, which really should be instigated by the accountant of self-employed people or small businesses.
Yeah.
And people that are entitled to the ERTE, E-R-T-E payment, which is the equivalent of the furlough in the UK, they have received the regular payments. Again, any inquiries, though, should be directed to your accountant because the accountant will know what forms to fill, any deadline, whether you're entitled or not. It really is a very individual thing, and the accountant is the person to whom these people should address their inquiry to. And again, a large number of amount of information is provided in the regional bulletin that we were talking about earlier on, and can also be found on the local government webpage, our English webpage, which is www.mazaron.es/ayuntamiento.
Can you spell that?
AYUNTAMIENTO, Ayuntamiento. That means town hall.
Yeah.
/noticias.
Noticias. Noticias.
That's right.
Okay.
Again, that's the local government webpage, and there is information relating to payments. we really cannot make a blanket statement on this. It's a very individual
So
thing.
anybody who's worried, anybody who hasn't received the money that they are due, please, they got to get in touch with their accountant. And their accountant should be up to speed with all of this.
Absolutely. Should have been up to speed a few months ago.
Cool, that's great. Okay, I think this is my last questions, and then we'll move on to the information that you've got.
That's fine.
It says, now that the summer season is coming to an end, have the councils got any plans to keep the economy going? Now, I'm presuming this is because the summer season, you've got the tourists here who are eating in the bars and restaurants, although from what I've seen, there haven't been a lot of people out and about. So I'm sure the businesses are suffering.
Absolutely.
So have the council got any plans of how to help maybe the economy in this region?
Well, the economy is the heartbeat of the country, and every council, every regional office, everybody that is our bosses, they are aware of that. And of course, it is of prime importance, 365 days a year.
Yeah.
The summer season is a great contributor to the economy, but every council is focused on continuous and persistent alertness to the development of the virus, because that is the most important thing.
But then people's businesses are really important as well.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you know, if you think during lockdown, there was 3 months where people weren't able to carry on their normal business. Then we've had a summer period, which has been a very diluted summer period in terms of the amount of tourists because of quarantine or whatever. And so now I'm sure that a lot of businesses are thinking, we have to be able to pick it up somehow, or maybe get some help from the town hall or the council or whatever, you know, to keep, because, okay, the virus is, as we know, is here, but people's livelihoods is still very important, so...
Of course, and it is a very, very difficult balance to try and maintain the safety, to maintain the lives of the people that run the business as well as everybody else, and to keep those businesses going through this really, really difficult period. But all plans and projects are actually totally dependent on the national and regional decisions to minimize the loss of lives and the risk of spreading the virus. The council, having said that, each council is very active in dealing, promoting all sorts of decisions that can actually help the small businesses, protect the lives of the citizens.
So would you say then maybe if people are worried about their businesses, that maybe the council or the town hall, there is something that they can do to help them? I don't...
That I don't know. Again, if there are issues, if there are problems, I would direct them to their accountant, because their accountant will be aware of any subsidies, any money available, any grants, anything that can help. But really, they would have to go through the accountant. It's the best thing. Ultimately, though, Ruma, there are no short answers or quick solutions.
Right. What we're going to do is we're going to give Silvana a little break, and I'm going to play some adverts. And then when we come back, we're going to cover the Padron and Residencia, a little bit about that. Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Silvana. Good afternoon. If you've just joined us, my special guest today is Silvana Buxton, who is the Councillor for Foreigners in the Municipal the Matharon municipality, and she has been answering some of the questions that you have sent in to us. And now, Silvana, I believe that we need to start, as you say, getting ready for Brexit as well.
Absolutely,
and there's no better time to start than maybe now, if you haven't already started. And you're going to give us some information on the Padron, is that correct?
Yes. First of all, we are constantly in touch with the British Consulate, who again are available to provide information. Of course, us, we are available too. And I would really advise people to start looking at their paperwork, at their situation. So I prepared just a little something to start them off.
Fantastic. No, that's what people need.
Okay, first of all, let's have a very quick mention about the residency, because in order to go on the Padron, you need a proof of residence.
Right.
So if you're legally resident in Spain, before the transition period ends on the 31st of December, you'll be able to stay. You must register as a Spanish resident if you want to stay in Spain for more than 3 months. If you're living in Spain before the 1st of January and register as a resident after the 6th of July, which is passed, so if you registered after that, you'll be issued with a biometric residence card, which is called a Tarjeta de Identidad de Extranjero. English people call it the TIE card, TIE.
Ah, okay, I've seen that.
Yes.
I've seen that spoken about, yeah.
Yes, so again, we will be talking more about the TIE card. But this card will prove your rights under the withdrawal agreement.
Okay.
If you registered as a resident before the 6th of July, you will have a green A4 certificate or a credit card size piece of paper from the Extranjería department of the police. This is a valid document and will prove your rights under the withdrawal agreement, including after the transition period ends. You can exchange this residence card for the new TIE card, but you don't need to.
Right, okay.
So a lot of people are saying, we have to apply for it, for the new TIE card, etc. No, if we have the residency, which is a credit card shape, or the full A4 sheet that gives you your residence, we are covered. We can exchange it for the TIE card if we want to.
Okay. Now, to have a Padron, you don't necessarily need to be resident in Spain, do you? It's if you've got a property. Is that correct?
From the, I believe... Let me just tell you what I've got down for the Padron.
Okay.
UK nationals who plan to live in Spain for more than 3 months must register as a resident and must be on the Padron.
Okay.
According to the information on the leaflet that the town hall distributes, the town hall requires certain documents to register on the Padron.
Yes.
And I must remind you that at the moment, because of the COVID situation, you must make an appointment to go to the town hall offices.
So the town hall offices used to be in the
town hall square.
In the square, but they're not anymore, are they?
Yes, they are still there. It is just the one or two the department that have moved a little
okay, so they're still
nearby.
in the same place, which is the main plaza in Matharon.
Yes.
And it's, I'm trying to think, whereabouts is it?
It's by the post office, the very big post office.
Yes.
Yeah, so you go in
It's the big glass building, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where you go to get your Padron.
Yes.
But you must make an appointment. They're not allowing walk-ins.
No, at the moment, no. You must make an appointment.
And what documents do people need to take?
To prove your identity, British nationals, and that is up to the 31st of December, they need their passport and their NIE.
Okay.
British national from the 1st of January, who will no longer be EU.
Yeah.
Will be extracomunitarios, I think. They will need the residence card. Mm-hmm. That's why we mentioned the residence beforehand, or the TIE, which one or the other, and their passport. Right. That is to prove their identity. Then they need to take some proof of residence of where they are. And if they own the property, the following documentation must be provided. They must provide the most recent IBI payment or EB payment. Yeah. They ought to take their deeds along, even if the deeds are old, but the EB receipt will prove that they are obviously
correspond. The EB will correspond to that address.
Yes, so they will prove that they are still resident there. And they should bring a recent utility bill, like water or electricity. If they're renting the property, the tenant, ideally the tenant should be accompanied by the landlord, although this is not very often possible. But they must, again, take along the most recent EB payment, obviously the receipt, the deeds, and they must
get the deeds off their landlord. Yes. So maybe the landlord should go with them.
Ideally, in Spain, the landlord will go with the tenant. I understand that for English people, the landlord may be abroad, maybe English. So, but they will need the deeds. Yes.
Okay, that's a requisite.
Personal identification of the owner of the property. So again, the NIE or the TIE and the copy of the passport.
Right.
Recent utility bill, and the rental contract.
Okay.
Or any authorization for registration on the Padron at that address.
Okay. Is that as a renter, is that before we leave the EU as well as after? All that information, is that needed?
It's needed. The information is needed. The only difference will be obviously your identity. If it's after the 1st of January, you will need your residence card or your TIE card.
So you have to be resident after the 1st?
If you, yes, to register on the Padron. Up to now, you only needed up to December, you'd only need your passport and NIE. From January, you will need your residence card, which you must have if you decide to stay in Spain for
longer than 3 months.
Absolutely.
So really, I would recommend that everybody tries to get this done before December the 31st.
Yes, as from the 1st of January, there are changes. Things are a little more
strict.
Yes, absolutely. yes. Yeah. Now, somebody may need to renew the Padron because every 5 years the town hall will contact you to confirm that you're still a resident in the municipality, which is only obvious and understandable. And it will ask you it's a letter, it's a standard letter that people receive, and because it's in Spanish, please don't throw it away. Just
junk mail.
They're welcome to ask me, and I'll help out.
Fantastic.
But they must then attend in person with their existing Padron document, their passport, and the TIE or residency document. Now, all these documents that we again are listed in the leaflet that the town hall distributes. You may be asked for all of them or just one of them or whatever. But really, the standard thing is whenever you go to the town hall, bring everything with you.
Everything. Yes. I bring my receipt from Marks and Spencer's as well.
I wouldn't go that far. But, especially if you have to make an appointment, it's really annoying.
Absolutely. If you waited all that time for your appointment, suddenly you walk in there and they say, oh, no, I need this, and you have to make another appointment.
Absolutely.
So, absolutely. Yes. Take everything.
Yes. But again, there is a lot of information on Brexit, on what you need to have, etc., on the government website, which is www.gov.uk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or the British Consulate website, with regards to residency requirement and how to register on the Padron, with Brexit information, etc.
Sure.
But the information I've just read can also be found on the Town Hall English webpage. So if people say, "Oh, I didn't make note," don't worry. Just go on the
www.matheron.es.
Yes, that's it.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, actually, /en.
/en.
Yeah, and that takes you onto our English webpage straight away.
Okay.
So I hope these things are, bit by bit, we're hoping to clarify, we're hoping to help.
You also have something important there from the British Consulate?
Well, it's an organization that is called IOM for short, and it's the International Organization for Migration.
Okay.
Now, it's an organization which is working in conjunction with the British Consulate, and with Brexit looming and the numerous changes that are going to take place for UK nationals resident in Spain and UK nationals wishing to become residents, the IOM was set up to support UK nationals to ensure that they maintain their rights after UK has left the EU. And the organization will focus on UK nationals and their family members who have difficulty in registering their residence in Spain due to health problems or language barrier or technology barriers. We're not always kids at these
computers
things.
And things, yes.
Or they're living in remote areas or are homeless.
Okay.
The IOM will also assist with legal advice, and they set up informative sessions, and they provide information relating to access to the residency permits in Spain, the new TIE card, access to public health care, registration on the Padron, exchange of driving license, and things like that. The IOM is in the process of arranging individual appointment at the social center in Camposol.
Okay.
For further information, you can email me at silvanaeb@mazaron.es.
So this organisation, the IOM, are they part of the British government, or are they an offshoot? Who are they? How come they're involved in this? What's their...
Well, if people go on their website, they can find all the information about it. We have had a presentation at the Cultural Centre, which, of course, was only limited to, at the time, only 10 people. So we had the presidents of various organizations, various associations, and hopefully these presidents will disseminate the information, because at the moment, well, at the time, we only had a limit of 10 people in a meeting, and now it's gone down to a limit of six people. So we are very limited in how we can provide the information. But again, go on the International Organization for Migration website, and you will see all about. They seem to be very, very good and helpful, especially with people that cannot communicate because of the language barrier.
No, that sounds perfect. International Organization for Migration, and they have their web page. So I presume that is www.
Yes. Probably IOM.
IOM.
Probably. And again, we are arranging a series of interviews or appointments for individuals.
Okay.
So the IOM representative will be there, and she will see people individually, but there has to be an appointment.
Okay.
And
is there any chance that maybe when you come on next, the representative from the IOM could come on with you?
I will ask.
And
I will
then
certainly
she
ask.
could then maybe enlighten people more as to how they can get in touch with them, what sort of service they offer.
Yes.
Because, this is all really valuable to
It's extremely valuable, yes. And you know, if people want to see the representative, drop me an email, say I want to make an appointment. I'm waiting for confirmation of the dates of when she will be there.
Yeah.
And then I will, you know, set the appointments, and people can actually speak with her. I've met her on a couple of occasions. I will certainly ask her to come along at the next opportunity.
That might be quite interesting, because if there are, it's good to have individual appointments, but sometimes there are questions, such as maybe the residency, that there could be about 100, 200 people out listening who that particular thing interests them. So then it would save her having to have individual appointments just to talk about residency and maybe homing on things that are a little bit more complicated and are quite bespoke for certain people.
Absolutely. And of course, Ruma, at this time where any meeting can only be limited to 6 people, having the opportunity, you know, to have this conversation with you is absolutely, is fantastic, is essential. Thank you.
Thank you, because it is so important that we know. I mean, there are so many people here who don't speak Spanish, who are a little bit nervous about what's going on. And to have you come in and reassure people that there are other people that they can speak to, or there are places that they can go to on the web, then it kind of makes a bit of a difference. It alleviates some of that worry.
Absolutely. And you know, we are, the older ones of us are thrown into this new technology world. Let's just make the most of it. Let's just try, test, use this www. And try and find that information.
Well, thank you so much, Silvana. Have we covered everything? I feel like we could carry on, but
we could, yes.
But we've run out of time. We've already gone over our time, which is fine. That's fine, because it's important information that needs to get out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ruma. Thank you.